Hello, everyone. I am Arjun Vijayanarayanan, the co-founder and CEO of Adhyaapan, an edtech organization which has been launched with a mission to create an inclusive ecosystem where the curiosity of young budding minds are being kindled through an application-based pedagogy and are guided to make informed career choices. As a part of our initiatives, we in this series of videos, we chat with working professionals and entrepreneurs from various different careers within and beyond STEAM. The idea is to chat with them, understand their careers, understand their lessons learned, look at the world from their views, etc. So, as a part of this series, in today's episode, we are speaking with a food process engineer and technologist, Miss Ria Bhadra. Welcome, Ria.
Thank you.
So, Ria is a food process engineer and technologist who has work experience from reputed companies like Hindustan Unilever and Mars Incorporated. Ria has an MTech from Food Process Engineering and Management from National Institute of Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management, NIFTEM, Haryana, and a BTech also from the specialization Food Engineering and Technology from Tezpur Central University, Assam. Ria has been working in this industry and from the looks of it, a person who has done BTech, MTech in the same field and also working in the same field, we can learn a lot from Ria about what food process technology is all about and her career pathway that she had devised for herself and what suggestions Ria has to offer to school students across India. Ria, welcome again. And so now when I hear food process engineering and technology, can you talk to our viewers about what is this all about? What is food process engineering technology all about? What does it entail? So if you can talk about this role and what all does it entail, that will be great.
Thank you for the warm welcome. First of all, congratulate you to bring up such an initiative. Uh, you
Thank you.
know, yes, food technology is a very new and new field, which is currently, I would say, in its very nascent stage of exploration. However, it's one of the best courses students can take up in this day and age. uh, Talking about food process engineering and technology. So these words itself has various aspects of food profession. If I have to break up and tell you, not going too much into technicalities, food processing is food preserving food. Processing the food with the objective to preserve it. Food technology, then there comes another logic, which is food science. Food science is knowing about the nature of the food, knowing everything what a food product is. Food technology is applying those scientific knowledge and developing a food product. Food engineering is knowing how to develop the product using machineries or using the latest technologies available. So these are combination of different aspects, and finally what you get is a food product which is convenient to the consumers, which is hygienic, which is safe, and which is of the utmost quality to the consumers at affordable, reasonable prices, and to and at areas where they might not even be reachable to, say for example, say in space, or say to different difficult geographical locations where the armies reside. So food technology and developing food products is not a very a very, what you say, superficial profession to do. It's a very interesting profession I am in. So if that explains.
Great. Can you give us an example of what like a real life example, maybe like what happens behind a Maggie or what happens behind a top ramen or anything. Just give us an example so people can understand what all of this that you just spoke about is, so that they can relate to it.
Okay, so in general, when you develop a food product, so basically, I am a product technologist. I develop food products. So in developing a food product, it starts from getting the ingredients right. Getting the ingredients right, and from the the best, what to say, of the best quality. So the ingredients must be first of the best quality. So in order to have those, we need to have right, uh, you know right setup at the farmers level, at the agricultural level. So once you select your vendors, then you get good ingredients from them. Once
Mm,
you get your quality ingredients, then since I'm a product researcher, I know what the science is. I know what combination of ingredients would develop a food product, what I need to add in to get Maggie. So I know the few basic ingredients. Say for Maggie, if you can imagine, as a normal consumer, there goes wheat flour in it, there goes certain spices in it, there goes certain flavors in it. So I will try different formulations with different ingredients, and mm, get a food product as close to Maggie as possible. uh, but I don't get it just mixing all those ingredients. I need to know what gives me the right texture of Maggie. So if you can, if you just imagine a pack of Maggie, it's a hard pack of noodles which is uncooked or say pre-cooked. So how do I get them? What machine produces these Maggie noodles? How does it become hard? So I know the technology how to do that. So in order to uh, produce that, I need to know what machineries I need to use. So there's a machinery called extruder, there's a machinery called fryer. So I need to be very well equipped with those knowledge of what machineries I need to use, and then I develop different formulations. I choose the right formulation. Then comes the sensory of the product. So sensory means, what would my food product taste like? Will it be appealing to my consumers? Will they like it? Why is Maggie so predominantly sold? What is it in Maggie which the consumer likes? So I need to be very much aware of the consumer choices and preferences. Uh, so there comes this role of sensory. Then there comes of preserving this food product, because this is very minimally processed. So something which is unprocessed is very perishable. So if you get fruits from the market and leave it just like that without even packing it, you know how fast it gets spoiled.
mm,
So I need to give it a minimal processing, so that I need to choose what kind of treatment I would like to give to my food product, be it heating, be it packing in a good uh, packaging material.
mm,
uh, so all of that I need to take care. So I need to have a very broadened knowledge into all of these aspects. Once I know all of this, I develop my food product, I pack it into the most suitable packaging material. Then I need to know in which form of transportation I'm going to transport this. Because if it is a glass bottle, I know it's going to, it can break at any moment. So I need to be aware that my products would, if it is a glass bottle packed, it needs to be handled with care. I have to then build up those instructions on the back of my pack.
mm,
Um, when I pack it, I have to give consumers the apt information according to the country guidelines or regulations. I need to know where the label is to be put up, where the logos are to be put up. I need to declare the ingredients. I need to declare each of the ingredients which is used in developing my food product. So it's a very risky, it's a very very detailed way of working in food profession,
wow.
like that.
Wow. So you take care everything from sourcing to ingredients till shelf, like till it reaches the entire supply chain. You take care of that. So once once that you mentioned, you know the ingredients. This may be a very naive question, but do you have to know to be a chef or to cook to come up with these things, or how does this work? Just out of curiosity.
Of course, because while developing this food product, we do work with chefs.
Mm,
We first of all, obviously, we won't have that kind of cooking caliber, but we have to understand the nitty gritties of how they cook a food product first.
okay.
Um, if it is noodles, to what temperature do they boil? If it is noodles, what is the texture, right texture that they are looking for while serving in restaurants? If it is anything, say a ketchup, what is the consistency do they want, so that they can dilute it while they add to prepare some gravies.
Mm,
We have to very very closely work with them. Once we work with them and understand the food product, then it's not just in one click that we develop it. We have to make several iterations, and in order to iterate, we have to do a product application trial. So
yeah.
which means I have to apply the food product that I have developed, and test and see. I cannot hire a chef for doing that each time. So definitely I need to know what I mean, at least related to the product I want to develop. I need
Mm,
to know on what would be the application of those, and I need to know how to prepare them. So definitely some uh, cooking skills, although you may not have it in, you don't need to have it in advance, but eventually it's not a big deal. It's a great, and it's very important.
great, great, great. So, Ria, these days when we go to the grocery stores, when I pick up foods, you have organic sections and you have, sections, another section and stuff. And then when we pick up like products, whether even like breakfast bars to whatever it is, there is a big thing about genetically modified food, partially genetically modified ingredients, etc. Some people, it scares them away on, hey, why am I eating this? And then they don't eat it or something. But then for others, when we talk about it, like to people who are in the know, they bring a different aspect to it from a, hey, because of climate change, because of, lack of proper sourcing from agriculture, etc., or disruption in agriculture. That's why it is important to use genetically modified ingredients, whether it's good or bad or whatever it is. What is your take on why is there this partially or genetically modified ingredients? Why is it important? um, yeah, your view on this entire scene.
Yeah. So before answering this, I would like to take you to the root cause of why genetically modified researches on food products are being done in real. So, as we know, climate change, of course, this is the basic reason for such a research. Because, there's no country in the world, I think, which is not affected by the climate change and environmental changes. Be it India or anywhere else, there's so much deforestation, there's so much industrialization, there's so much global warming. Um, the natural rains that we got is now no more. People are also trying to create artificial rains. So all of this has brought down the yield of agriculture, any product yield at agricultural level. So which is impacting everything, which is impacting the economic status of the country, which is impacting our farmers, which is also impacting the crop availability. So if there are no more crops available, what are you going to eat? So, people research about a field only when they see that there's need of it. So I definitely like the idea of the research which is being going on uh, about genetically modified crops, because it has a purpose. It's not just, government is not spending in vain. They have thought about it, they've researched about it, they've gone through several levels of discussions, and only then these kind of researches are in place today. However, I think bringing them straight to the market is going to impact the psychology of the consumers at first level. People are not ready now. They need to be much more educated, and there needs to be much more research on this topic. because we can't just adapt to something which is not natural looking to us. Genetically genetic engineering and modification is up to a cell level. We don't we There's certain portions of the cell which is cut off and it's replaced by something else. We don't know what the effect on a human being it's going to bring into,
Mm.
so until and unless those areas are being clarified, there's enough clinical evidences, uh, we cannot conclude. So we should not either comment on it at this moment. My opinion is I won't comment on whether it is good or bad. I would not adapt to it just now. I would take time, probably in few years, if all the evidences come up, I would be, and if there's no negative impact of this, this crops and all, I'm a happy consumer. I would like to shift to it, because if there's no more crop available at one point of time, obviously necessity is the mother of invention, as we say. So this is also, I feel this is important to keep researching and bringing out solutions to the problems that we foresee now.
Absolutely. Right. Like both climate change and ever increasing population are two biggest drivers for all of this, I would assume. The next thing, which we have a lot of discussions amongst our friends is this rise of veganism, right? Like starting from oat milk or badam milk or what, like here, here in the US, you have like almond milk, which is very different than the almond milk we get in India, right? And where it started out that way, and then you have vegan cheeses, and to a point you have vegan chicken wings or vegan wings, right? And we have tasted them. It exactly tastes like an actual chicken wing, and has to a point where the texture feels the same, how you bite into it feels the same, like how all the sensory things feels the same. And again, this, like, for people who are vegetarian and vegan, it's like a great thing. Hey, I'm not missing out on anything. It's okay for me to give up meat and then get into veganism and stuff. But on the flip side, this is massively processed, right? Like why would you eat this thing? Either like quit meat and then go fully vegetarian, or what is this new thing? Of course, there are so many viewpoints amongst our friends when we discuss this. There is no right or wrong answer. This is just our viewpoints. I would love to ask your viewpoint on this alternate ingredients, alternate meats, beyond meats, and things is like very famous things going on around the world right now. So, what is your viewpoint on this vegan alternates for a lot of things now?
uh, See, I'm going to give a very surprisingly different answer on this. I would ask you to first trust uh, the food regulating bodies of any country that you decided. Being a food technologist and working in a food industry by my profession, I am well aware of the fact that country regulations are very stringent. You know, uh, until and unless there are sufficient clinical evidences, they don't let you use anything, be it any chemical, beyond a certain limit. There are limits to even salt and sugar usage in a food product. Okay, so no country, and it also differs from country to country. Some countries are even stringent than the others. So, and talking about US, Europe, where veganism is more widely, I think, populated, and it's being accepted there. uh, Living in India, I think those country norms are even more stringent than us. They're really very stringent to talk about them. uh, so and the labeling guidelines which every country has, I don't think there's any country in the world which would not ask a food processor to mention the ingredients which they use. We don't have any exception to not declaring something on the label. We have to declare anything that we use, and then there are always limits to the usage levels for those ingredients. Then So there are a lot of what I want to say is there are a lot of myths that is going on, about food, about processed foods. uh, if I have to tell it so frankly to you, the homemade food is also not, it's also very processed. Home cooked food, people believe that they might not be too much processed, but if you look into it, there's no control on the levels of oil, sugar, salt that you use just to make it taste better, right? There's no control there. However, the country regulations have control on the use of fat in a food product, on the use of sugar in a food product. So which is, if I have to ask you, what do you think is more healthier then? Because at home, I don't know, do people really follow on, I mean, they do they measure the amount of oil they're going to put in while preparing a food, uh, a dish? No, right? So I mean, there are a lot of myths. And if you are an aware consumer, you know how to read the back of pouch, right? You know how to read the nutritional information that a food product, displays on its, what to say, the packaging material, like the packaged, uh, what to say, the labels, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you know how to read them, I would suggest all the consumers to be first aware of this. This is very important. I mean, when you go and shift your food eating habit, it's very important to choose the kind of brands that you get in inside your house. Making a shift has no issues. There are a lot of, you cannot say that every company gives you the best valued food products, or every company, just a normal local food company also meets regulations. So you need to be aware first, you need to be self educated first. Once you are and you are making an informed choice, you are picking up the right product for yourself after reading everything. You read what is going into the food product. Is it, if it is a alternative, hardly it would have, either texturized protein, which is, a texturized form of, say, we call it like hydrolyzed vegetable protein, which is, a form of soya only. um, Either you would have those the pulse proteins. They're not unhealthy, they're healthy. uh, processing Processed foods, by processed foods, if you would go, so what I mean, heating heating is not making it unhealthy, or normal freezing is not making it unhealthy. So I mean, first, I think consumers need to be very much aware. They do not need to believe all the myths that are coming up. Uh, and myths in the form of, you know what, if I have to tell you, even air has certain molecules which can cause cancer. So we can't call air to be carcinogenic. We can't say that the air we breathe in, since it has so many chemicals, it is going to kill you. We have to anyways breathe. So even food products does have certain chemicals for sure, which helps it preserve, which helps to preserve the food product, but their usage levels are have been controlled. Okay, so the point what I'm trying to make is, these shifts do happen. They are happening again. Necessity is the mother of invention. Uh, to if this is the pace at which things are happening today, if you are eating meat, uh, whatever happened recently, we can also take a good learning from what is happening around the world. The COVID, how it got originated, all of us are aware of that, right? So if you're eating something which is which you don't know, if it is, you are not very sure it's going to be healthy or not for you, it's going to be safe or not for you. Because even talking about bird flu, or say swine flu, it's not coming out of the air, it's coming out of meat consumption, right? So if we have to tackle some problem, we have to find out solutions, and then decide, you know over the years only we can get to know whether this research was important or not. So concluding at the very initial stage, about whether it is good or not, first of all we need to appreciate the efforts that the food technologists and scientists are making. It's really, when you say that, oh god, it's tasting just like meat, or it's tasting just like milk, first of all, please appreciate the efforts that they brought into. Then make yourself educated. What is happening? Why has this come into picture? Why is it that we are looking for such a thing? Be aware of the environment, I would say, because tomorrow, at the pace things at which things are happening, I think it's going to bring in a lot of destruction. uh, there's going to be no plants available, there's going to be no animals available on this planet. So everything is connected, the entire food chain is getting disrupted. We have to find out solutions, right? uh, that's what I think about, that's what my opinion is.
Hmm. Very, very technical indeed, coming from the way you look at things. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So going back to your education, your school days, right? I see that you've done your bachelor's in this, you've done your master's in this stream, you're working in this stream. So were you one of those who knew what you wanted to do, or talk to us about how you decided to choose a career in food processing technology? Where did you hear about this first? Yeah, all of that. Like, where did you get the spark from, and how has that journey been?
See, when I so it's always situation which makes you think for yourself. Okay, I believe in that. When I was entering into my BTech, obviously this required entrance examinations to be cleared. So I cleared. There's an exam called JEE in India, which I cleared. Um, then people decide, the streams that they want to undertake. I mean, back of mind, obviously it's going on and they are already thinking about it. And once they clear the exam, now it's time, you need to finalize which stream you're going to take. I knew I was always interested in science. I knew I was always interested in research. This is what I was clear about myself. Uh, then I looked at the options available. So if I go about the normal, the generic engineering fields, I had mechanical, I had civil engineering, I had computer science engineering. At that point of time, there was, a lot of thing about recession which was going on in the country. Okay, there was lot there were no jobs available at that moment, for different fields which are today maybe doing good, or today maybe totally lost. Um, at that point of time, when I got to know about food engineering in general, the thing which came into my mind was, this is something which is new. I definitely researched about it, and I got to know that, the government is investing behind food sector in the country. Everyone, everywhere across the globe are talking about food sectors and food industry and agriculture. There's certainly something going to come up. There's some boom, of food uh, that happened at that time. Uh, then I realized, and since I was interested into research, I did not want to end my education very quickly after BTech. I knew I'm going to either proceed ahead and go and do my higher studies in something. So all of these aligned together. I thought this is going to be very new for me. People have not explored this, and which is an opportunity. So where there is a very limited crowd, there is also an opportunity. So I looked it in that way, and I had confidence on myself because I was anyways, very I think before I make some decision. So I thought a lot about it, and then I chose this.
Great, great. Um, so one more question, as it can be useful for our school students who listen to this. Uh, so other than food processing and technologies, what other sectors or what other career roles do you interact with and are very important to make your job easier, right? Whether it is, you talk about right from sourcing till product trials, till understanding the consumer, till supply chain, and then shelving it. You spoke about an entire array of different things, and I would assume that you know um, people like from marketing to human factors psychology to, I don't know, some kind of artificial intelligence or something to do deal with computers and everything comes into play. So what are all the roles that you actually interact with to make your job, like where they complement your role basically?
Oh my God, there's a long list, and the list is endless. I think coming into this profession has made me realize that no job is big or small. I mean, and one cannot do without the other, is what I've realized. Starting from normal, communication skills, uh, because not just one language, uh, it has to be, it is so important because day in and day out, you get to interact with managers, you get to interact with supervisors, you get to interact with the workers, uh, you get to interact with, normal the technicians, the staffs, because when you conduct a trial, managers need to approve, uh, supervisors need to supervise the trial, workmen need to do the heavy work which is required in every kind of job, uh, staffs need to get you what you want at your table, and interacting with, and food companies are geographically located everywhere. So when you go and when you work, I mean, it's in a different state always. I mean, my last job was in Maharashtra, today I'm in Karnataka. um, so when these people come, they're from different uh, geographical areas, they use different languages. You have to be very clear with your communication skills to all of them. So obviously, first of all, the communication skills is important. You have to know a bit of economics because this is business. Obviously, it's a research field. My field is research and development, but ultimately, I have to give something to the business to be able to take back something as my salary. So I have to be very economic with developing those food products. I cannot be, developing a very good product which tastes great, but then it's expensive, it's very unreasonably high priced. I have to exist in the market, I have to know the economics, I have to know costing, um, which again reminds me that in order to do costing, I need to know how to use Excel sheets. I have to be well aware of how to conduct a meeting on Teams. I need to know how to write an email. Um, so then Excel sheets, again has so many different areas to. It's not just sum and minus and all of that. I need to know a bit of statistics because when I conduct a market research, I need to know. I have a lot of data. I have to combine all of them. I have to present it to my team. So I need to know a bit of statistics. I need to know chemistry, uh, as basic as weighing the ingredients correctly. So, if I have to tell you that much deeply, uh, we measure quantities of flavors in milliliters, and those are like not even 1 or 2 milliliters. They might be 0.000035 milliliter. So this is the level of the level of accuracy of weight is also so utmost important in developing a food product. So I need to know how to calibrate a weighing machine. If I don't calibrate it every morning, I'm getting an error in the weighing, and which ultimately is reflecting in the end product, right? I need to know how to titrate because when I say my product, say Horlicks, has this much of vitamin C, backend I need to also know how to calculate the vitamin C content. So I need to know. I'm sure every one of us have been taught in schools like 7, 8, 9, 10 how to do titrations, uh, like acid, measure the acid in something or a base in something, or say salt content and all of that. Those are basic chemistry. very, very basic. So I need to know how to titrate. I cannot just come up and say that, I am not from a scientific background. I was not very much uh, pro in titrating in titration during my school days. I have to know this. uh, I need to know a bit of physics, because then if I'm saying that my product texture is hard or soft, or I have to express it in terms of some units. I cannot say that this is hard and soft in terms of only words, verbal words. I have to give some quantity. So I need to measure. I need to know how to use the equipment which measures texture. So I need to know physics. I need to know biology, because I need to know how my food product, if a person is capable or not to digest my food product. If I give too much of, if it is too much oily, I don't know if the person is going to suffer because of it or not. If it is too much acidic, I don't know if he's going to be able to digest it or not. Uh, if biology, microbiology is something which is not inseparable. It's very much required, because microbiology tells me how much microorganisms are present in my food, which are dangerous for me, okay, for any consumer. So I need to know if my food is going to be infected with certain microorganisms or not, say algae, fungi, whatsoever. You will know the basics, of course. So I don't think there's any skill which we have earned back in school days, which is not getting implemented today, if I have to see. And I am very happy that I have done my subjects very, precisely. I have read them all uh, up to the level which was required today. If I would have missed out in any of them, I don't think I would have been able to do my job so well.
That's great.
So
That's great. That's great. So, for a school student listening to this today, um, what is your suggestions to them with respect to how to pursue this career? Like, how should they devise this career based on your experience?
not just this career, but be it any other stream, students beyond their academics, beyond books, need to explore. As I said, during my time, food sector was booming. So I think, I don't know if this is the same today or not. Obviously, I know because it is related to my profession. But I'm saying from a student's perspective, it might change. Today, something else could be the concern area, right? Uh, so I would first of all suggest that please be aware of beyond academics or whatever is happening, what kind of regulations or what kind of areas your country is focusing upon right now. Not just your country, maybe globally. Try to gather as much as information as possible. Uh, and do not run with the crowd. You need to identify opportunities. Just as I mentioned, when I saw that there's limited crowd in this area, I saw an opportunity. Similarly, students need to be, they cannot uh, just follow the crowd. They need to identify what's best in themselves. That's the most important. No work is big or small. uh, there's so much, if I even say it, I think it's being biased, but people, uh, they look, um, just as you mentioned, do you need to know cooking skills and all? But do you even realize what a chef, how much educated a chef is? You know, to become a chef, he needs to undertake hotel management, which teaches you, the basic etiquettes, of how a person should behave. So a chef just doesn't know how to cook. He knows how to behave. He knows how to address a consumer. He knows how to present himself. He knows how to stand, how to sit. He knows all those things. He's very, very well equipped and educated. So uh, so just as I said, I mean, students at that point of time, they start judging different fields. They just look at what the, what stream would give them better jobs, or say better paying jobs. But this is not correct. This is not the way you should look. In fact, Instead, you should look at how best, what is, first of all, identify that opportunity. Secondly, believe in yourself, gain that confidence that if this is an opportunity and if it is not a walked road, then it is an opportunity for me. I will walk and I will end, I'll reach the top, because there's no much crowd. I can play myself, and explore more. Apart from that, obviously, as I said, learn about everything possible, what's going on in environment, be active. I mean, nowadays, YouTube, Google, these are the platforms which I don't think was so active back then. It's these days, it's being, I mean, it's an excellent platform to explore. um, say Google, you just type something and you get the entire, I don't know how many perspectives and all of that in Google, YouTube. LinkedIn is a very good platform. I would suggest students to be on LinkedIn, um, just as they step out of school. It's an excellent platform to learn, which I think I realized late in life, uh, because people, out of nowhere start flooding with information and all relevant information. It's not like Facebook or something where you just connect with people for without purpose. I mean, people connect here only to spread knowledge. So being part of such an excellent platform obviously helps. So these are few tips which I think I would like to give students.
Sweet, sweet. So now, as they are planning on their career, say they are class 11 and class 12, by the time they take a course, say in food processing technology, just like you, but maybe it's like 5 years before they, get a job. So for people like them, what are all the future trends that are happening in your industry?
See, if because I'll only be able to show through my lens at this moment. But as I said, they need to be well aware of all the changes which is happening and need to adapt quickly to them. Currently, at this point of time, the plant-based revolution in food industry is blooming. There's everything, like as you mentioned, meat alternative, milk alternative, egg alternatives. All these are now currently the what to say, the talk of the time. uh, but there's I think, in my opinion, there's another sector which is coming up in few years, which is the space food. I think there's also, I've seen a lot of small startups exploding in that space, uh, wherein you would like to devise food items, for the people who go to space explorations, because they obviously can't carry that much weight with them. Obviously, there's a weight limitation. So what kind of foods can you provide them with? How much, what are the varieties that you can provide them with? Today, I don't think we have so much of them. There's very limited varieties and explorations of food products that has been available. Uh, so one is that, and secondly, there's nothing, I don't believe in trends. I mean, trends can come up any moment. So it's very important to be, as I said, keep exploring every day to be informed. So that's it, I think.
Okay.
That is what I foresee now at this moment: the space food exploration. And also, uh, there's one another thing which is like the, I think it's also somewhere in the news, like the foods which are, in the form of gases, so nutrients in the form of gases. I mean, all these can come up anytime, can pop up anytime, so you just need to be aware.
Wow, I've never heard about this food in the form of gases or nutrients in the form of gases. I'll probably have to go look into that. But um, I think this has given a good perspective about the industry, a good perspective for students to, look into how should they go about this, some future trends, etc. So, all right, I think enough of, technical fun, technical parts of the questionnaire and, your views. So I'll probably go into like the next 2 minutes of just some rapid fire questions for you. Like, just
Okay.
what's your thing, right? There is nothing thinking about, like, there's no thought process to any of this. Um, so just to know about you better, right? So like, so here we go. So if given these are just like alternates, what would you choose, right? Say between dark chocolate and milk chocolate. What is
Dark
your what
chocolate.
any day, huh? That's my
Any day.
favorite. That's my favorite too. All this happens even between my friends here. Maggie or top ramen.
Maggie.
That's mine too. For whatever reason, like that's always been my favorite. A food that you cannot live without.
Rice.
Rice. Okay. And a food that you don't care too much about.
Non-veg.
Non-veg. Okay. So all that veganism, I expected that after that answer you gave. And say tomorrow is the last day or something, and today you need to eat something. What is that favorite dish that you would eat if we know that tomorrow is the end or something?
Oh my God. Okay. Uh, if tomorrow is the end or something, I think I'll binge on fruits.
Fruits. Okay. I would. So
Yeah,
my thing
because
would okay. I'd
yeah.
probably have some nice curry or something like that. But okay, that's super healthy. So now that you are going that way, so I was going to ask you a question
See,
about
I have an answer for that. Okay. If tomorrow everything's gonna end, I still have time, right? I mean, things will end before me, I would feel. I mean, because the environment, let's assume you're talking about the environment. I have packaged foods for tomorrow, but I won't have those fresh fruits.
yeah.
So I think I'll
Yeah, it's
have fruit.
okay into it. Before that, I was going to ask you a question about, vegan chicken wing versus regular chicken wing, but I already know your answer to that, so I'm not going to ask you that. But Ria, thank you so much for everything today. I loved your perspective about a lot of things right now, like um, about right from appreciating what goes on behind it. Of course, people are going to talk about everything. Like there are always going to be different kinds of perspectives and stuff. So, but it's important to the appreciate what's going on in the background, trust the food regulation industries, people to get educated about all of these things is very important for sure. And then you bring about myths associated. I think every industry has conspiracy theories and a lot of things going on behind them. I'm sure I have listened to so many things, when it comes to food processing and the food industry. So while it makes fun to just at least listen to it and things like that, but not spreading it unless you are educated is, of course, it was a great thing. And I thought today's interview also brought out great content for the students as well, how to think, um, the holistic perspective about thinking, not just focus on one's field, etc. So on the whole, I loved all your perspectives and all your views today. So thank you so much for your time today and sharing with us everything about food processing and technology. Thank you, Ria.
No, I think I felt really honored and also very, very proud that I'm being able to promote my field of study. It's and I'm very, very like I think I can just vouch on it that this field is going to be, the next. I mean, the next most important field of study. And it's great to take up food technology courses. There are a lot of colleges which are bringing up this food tech courses,
Mm,
and there's also a lot of varieties in the type of courses that they're providing, be it in India, be it globally. So that's again a positive thing. Even in India, there's so many colleges. You just if I have to name a few which might help students. So obviously the two colleges that I studied in, I would like to mention their names first. One is NIFTM, which is also which is backed by MOFP. That's Ministry of Food Processing Industries
mm,
in India.
mm,
There's Tejpur, which and NIFTM has 5 different courses uh, in food itself. So there's so many different angles to how a food tech course should be studied. There's food technology, there's food engineering, there's food supply chain, there's food plant operations there. There's
Mm.
so all these 5 courses. Then there's Tejpur University, from where I've done my BTech. If in this institute is very well equipped with a lot of instrumentation that students need while they study. There's also National Institute of Technology, Rourkela. There's also IIT Guwahati, which has brought up this course. There's IIFPT, which is a very renowned, which is also another uh, backed by MOFP only. There's ICT Mumbai, which is also very well known institute, which has food tech courses. There's also IIT Kharagpur, which has so the course name is, I think, Agricultural Process Engineering, but then it teaches the, yes. uh, Apart from these, students can also explore food technology up to PhD levels. They can go abroad. There's a lot of scholarships and grants that the government gives you to study food tech courses, because this is a field which government likes to sponsor students with, because it's a very new field, it's a research area. Government is really helping students to take up this course. So yes, I think that's all. Also, one more tip I think I wish to give students, and that is, during the courses of study, uh, please do not limit yourselves to books at all. Make best use of the college that you're in, the school that you're in, because schools, colleges have beautiful and well equipped labs. These labs will take you to your future for sure. Do not sit back and just read books. You can read them obviously ever after, but make use of labs, because they have instrumentation which students miss out in the course of their studies. uh, Conduct researches from your very early age. Do not wait for PhD. Even if you are doing your BTech, if you're doing your MTech, get involved in projects. Even schools, at school level, you can get involved in projects, because projects teach you not
Yes.
just the technical bit, but they also teach you how to interact with people, how to do teamwork, how to develop managerial skills, and various other skills. So I
Great.
think I gave my like all the tips that I had in mind for students.
That was wonderful, Ria. I think that completed everything, right? So you've also given them a view on what to go look out for rather than just the concept-based talk. So thank you so much again for all of this. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck to you in your own career. And we would love to speak with you another time, maybe on another topic in the future. So thank you again, Ria.
Thank you so much.